Hey guys, what's up? Y'all doing good?
How are you?
Great.
Summer.
Great. Great to be back though too. What we got?
Well, last time we talked to you, you gave us very thorough breakdowns on some of these rookies. I'm curious about your thoughts on Jalen McMillan, because last time we talked to you, you had said, we feel like we really got a heck of a steal. We don't think he would have been available if it hadn't been for that injury. Now that you've seen him go through a training camp, just your thoughts on how he's coming along.
Yeah, I think he's made me look pretty good with those comments. I think you can all see the cool stuff that he does out here right now. I mean, he's a very gifted athlete. He's a very gifted football player, and now the next step is consistently doing it day after day. We'll get to see how he plays with the pads on, but expect him to handle that well and just keep building a rapport with the quarterback. And with any wide receiver quarterback combo, there's got to be a big trust factor there, and he's got to have to earn that with Baker too. So, but we're excited about how he's started for sure.
At the end of last year, especially in the postseason, Baker and Cade were just in a rhythm.
Yeah.
It seems like they picked up from where they left off. Is Cade kind of that secret weapon for you guys, because you got Mike and Chris and Rashad, to factor in for other defenses, but Cade's having a heck of a camp.
Yeah, I appreciate the question on Cade because I think he's a really good football player, and I think to what I just kind of said, there's a high trust factor there, and when a lot of the focus is going to be on Mike and Chris, deservedly so. There's a lot of value in a guy that the quarterback just knows he will be where he's supposed to be, and so I can trust if they take these two away, well, that's Cade's going to be freed up here, and the ball's going to go to him, and he's going to be where he's going to be there, and he's going to catch it. And they were hot yesterday, and they were hot again today, and it's a cool thing to see.
We've seen what Javier Thomas can do out here. He's kind of a ball hawk.
Yep.
Is that what you guys saw? Those characteristics?
Yeah, I mean, ad nauseum probably with me, but just he's the kind of kid that we love to watch and compete, and we've admired him for a couple years when he was with other teams, and he's another kid that's just playing hard and doing the right things a lot. And when you do that, the ball finds you. Especially in this defense, we put a huge emphasis on turnovers, and you're going to get your opportunities. And so if you're ready for them, you're doing the right stuff, the ball's going to come to you, and you're going to find it. So I just appreciate the way the kid plays and competes. He's a good teammate. He'll do whatever's asked. He's playing safety. He's playing nickel. We could ask him to play anything. I mean, you remember last year too when that game in Houston when Trey got that ball stripped. That was Javier. We were lucky to get it back at them, but he's going to make plays like that, and he's shown up so far.
Is going to play in this game. And what have you seen from him at center? He didn't play center since his freshman year.
Yeah.
There's been some wayward snaps. Just how much of a curve is that for him so far?
Well, it's a huge curve for any lineman and any rookie to come in and have a chance to start and play big snaps. It's even harder at center because there's the communication with the quarterback and all the other things. I think what you love about Graham is one wayward snap doesn't become another one. Yeah, they show up from time to time, but it isn't like he's off a cliff after that too. And that was in his profile. We really like that about him. He's just a consistent achiever, and it matters to him. And so sometimes I think in training camp on August 8th or whatever it is, I mean, those mistakes are okay because for a kid like him, he's going to work harder to make sure that those are ironed out by the time the game starts.
With Yaya Diaby and Joe Tryon-Schwenke being out, seen a lot of Marquise Watts and Jose Ramirez and Chris Braswell. Nice interception today.
Yeah.
What can you say about those three players and how they're taking advantage, maybe some extra reps this week and getting better?
Yeah, Jose and Marquise showed up all the time last year. Y'all just didn't get to see it because you weren't in practice, but we saw it. They worked our tackles, and I think it's why Tristan and Luke in particular took a jump because the work that they were getting from those two guys was really good. And I'm not surprised with how either Jose or Marquise are doing because they're the right kind of kid. Like, it matters to them, and they are the kind of person that when people miss with injuries, they are ready to step up and they're ready to play and they're prepared and they're going to give you their best. And so this isn't any surprise to any of us. And obviously Chris is coming along. It was cool to see the interception today, and he's doing a lot of good stuff too. So they're just the right kind of people that work. And I think it'll be fun to watch them play on Saturday night because I think they'll make the most of their opportunities.
Quite a few UDFAs are contributing to this team. You got Christian Museum, up in there, and now you got guys like Funderburg who are making good plays. How important is it to have that youth and bring in that talent after the draft, and what really goes into finding some of those players that other teams are able to look?
Well, it's a testament to our scouts. I mean, those guys all kind of undrafted free agent road, late round picks, undrafted free agent mode, and they're the ones that find those guys. They seek them out, or they put them up on the board. They have a relationship with the agent. They recruit them to come here in a small window of time, like we've talked about. And it's huge to have youth on your team, but it's even more important just to have guys that can play. And I love the competition in our secondary right now. I mean, it's pushed Dean to be better. Zion is hopefully going to take a big leap here. It's pushed him, and I think you start to count numbers, and it's like, well, there's a lot of good players here, and if I want to stay, I better be at my best. And there's certainly some young guys that are stepping up and playing well.
We get to talk to you so much about prospects, but some of the guys that are on the current roster right now, like Baker, the fact that now he can start to plant some roots here with this team. What kind of changes have you noticed from him from last year when he was fighting for the starting job to this year where this team is really kind of his own now?
I think he's always confident. I think you love that about him, and he's got a swagger to him this year and an urgency maybe he was trying to feel himself out. I mean, I use urgency in in a good positive term. Like he's here to win, and he's comfortable with it, and he knows it's his team and he's the guy. And he told you, I think you guys the other day, like when he's comfortable, it's when he's playing his best, and there's a comfort to him, and there's a rhythm to his game right now that I think is really starting to pick up, and it's fun to see because he's always been able to throw the football with the best of them. And he ripped some shots here late that in practice today that were really neat. But I like his energy and his vibe, and I think the team can feel that as well, which is cool.
How did he build off of last year? Scoring faster, more production, from a scoring standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, let's score 40 a game. That would be awesome. But I think he's in a really good place right now, and it's just to move the ball up and down the field and to value the football too. I mean, I think we're going to be a little more aggressive this year with some of the stuff, and on that, there's an impetus on the quarterback to still make sure that we don't put the ball at risk a ton. But just if he just keeps building and throwing and really grasping the offense because it is different, that'll be big for him. But he's off to a really good start here.
Looking for as you step in the press box or wherever you're going to be in Cincinnati, what is it you want to see from young players who might be making their first NFL appearance in a game, a preseason game, but albeit, what do you want to watch? What is important?
I want to see him compete. They're going to make mistakes. It's their first time in an NFL field and a new scheme, whether it's offense or defense, and they're going to make mistakes. But I want to see him compete. I want to see him strain to finish. I want to see him, if you're tackling people, put your face on the ball carrier and get them down. If you got the ball and you're carrying it, I don't want to see people run out of bounds. I want to see them finish plays, and those are the kind of guys we're looking for around here, and that's why. Preseason games, there's always young guys that, sometimes have been great out here in the shells and no contact that kind of fade. And there's some guys that maybe didn't quite look as athletic as some of these other guys that show up because when the lights go on and it's big boy football, they show up. And so, but I just love watching guys compete. It's really almost like a natural high for me. I just love it. And when you find kids that will just empty the tank for you, I have so much respect for them. And I look forward to seeing that on Saturday night.
Favorite stories that have emerged from past preseasons where, like you had said, sometimes guys may not show fully what their value is out here, but when the lights come on, they step into that moment with a readiness and a fighting spirit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not that they don't excel or they were not noticed out here, but it's like a confirmation of it. And when you're in the scouting process and you feel like you recommend players and you feel like you're betting on the fact that they can play in games, not in practices. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I've seen in my career that are awesome practice players, and they don't want any part of the real stuff. But so when you're a scout and you tell people in the organization, like, this kid will, when the lights come on, he will validate his worth and his spot in this roster. I love that too, and I think all scouts do too. I mean, it's like I told you, but also like a validation to yourself too. Like, hell yeah, I made a good call on this kid, and he proved it on TV in front of everybody.
Were there any specific guys that you kind of remember over the years, like either here or in your past spots?
Lots of them. I mean, I've been around a lot of good players in my 20 years in the league. So no one in particular, but a lot of good ones that showed up when it mattered. All right, appreciate y'all. Have a great day. Travel safe up to Cincy.